Africa. To many throughout the world, it is a beautiful land of intriguing people and wondrous wildlife. But to the people that live there, its poverty, superstition, and fear destroys its life.
If somebody dies today, he leaves a wife behind. Within a space of 1 year, the other partner also dies. We have 1 out of every 4 men or adults positive. They simply assume that as long as you're a widow, your husband or your wife died of AIDS, the remarriage of a widow is becoming very impossible because of the stigma of AIDS. The carpenters have ceased making so much of furniture. They have resorted to making more of coffins. A long time ago, it was a taboo to have such a thing. And a person who would make a coffin behind his backyard would be considered a witch, and he was feared greatly. But not so today with AIDS on the rampage. The funeral processions are endless. Every day, we are burying several people dying of AIDS. To practice cleansing in such a situation is rather a death trap. We do have a certain cultural practice known as cleansing. What happens is that if a widow who survives, she's thought to be haunted by a ghost of the deceased husband. People are so superstitious that they strongly believe that a widow is haunted. That ghost may haunt the whole family and kill whoever gets married to that widow. As a result, it's required by society that she must be cleansed, especially if they feel she's responsible for the death. We don't just die in Africa, we are simply killed. AIDS has compounded the problem because if, say, the partner dies of AIDS, the surviving spouse will be accused of having brought that sickness in the family. And one of the methods is the cleansing by sex method, which is a method that is mainly used. So people have lived in fear, the fear of the supposed ghost. This cleansing practice is so dangerous because it is wiping out the entire family. Because the one who does the cleansing part, the male that does the cleansing or the female, comes from the same family of the deceased. You can imagine somebody conducting the cleansing is HIV positive. That means the one they are giving to do the cleansing by sex method will equally get the disease. That means tribes are being wiped out. They are being wiped out because this virus is being sprayed within the tribe, within the family time and again. So we have chains of deaths in families, chains of deaths year after year. It's because some of these practices are really promoting the spread of AIDS. These are adults leaving children behind with nobody to take care of them. Imagine the fate of these orphans who have nobody to look after them. The mother is dead, the father is dead, the relatives are not willing to take them up. They are more concerned with the property left, but not with the upkeep of the children. They'll end up on the street. And this is the problem we have right now, street kids who have nobody to care. At least there should be somebody somewhere to look after these kids. And that's my appeal. Now, may I ask all the orphans to stand up? So these people you can see are the orphans that we have here, who needs all the help. You may pray with us so that we can come up with some help.
In Africa, there are traditional practices that are unnecessarily killing people, families, and entire tribes. All this death is a result of fear and superstition. Because these traditions are done through sexual acts, AIDS is spreading out of control, and now 1 in 4 has the virus. These traditional practices don't need to continue. People in Africa don't need to die. Education can end this tragedy.
Under customary practice, it's not a crime. Under customary law, it's not a crime. In fact, the persons who are not cleansed sometimes can sue for not having been cleansed. And there is no specific legislation that addresses this issue. There has been a silence, but it's of late that people are awakening and begin to respond and also to talk about this subject. So you can see that how deep ignorance is among our people. That's why I feel a vigorous campaign, vigorous education to reach all spheres of society is needed. It is murder, especially where they force a woman against her will to be cleansed under the guise of culture, just to protect their own interests. It is murder of the highest kind.
Why does my soul